That night, I never realized I was losing him. It was supposed to be simple, tender, a quiet evening at home with close friends. Nothing extravagant, just the comfort of familiar company, shared food, and the effortless kind of joy that comes when people who care for each other gather. I'd planned the evening for Nathan, hoping it might pull him out of the fog that had settled over him. Work had consumed him for weeks. Late nights, tired sighs, conversations clipped short by fatigue. His silence had become normal. I told myself it was just the strain of his job, and I believed that one night filled with warmth and laughter might remind him of the life waiting outside his endless responsibilities. The house glowed softly, candles flickering against the walls. A playlist of mellow songs drifted through the air, mingling with the clink of glasses and bursts of laughter. Everything seemed aligned, the kind of night that wraps you in ease. Friends flowed between the dining room and living area, sharing stories freely. Someone brought up Nathan's infamous battle with a flat-pack coffee table, a story that always sparked amusement. I leaned into the moment, teasing about his muttered frustrations and the triumphant second he drove in the final screw. The room erupted, laughter spilling out, and for a moment it felt like a dam breaking. Everyone joined in, tossing playful jabs about Nathan's shoes forever scattered in the hallway, his habit of talking to our dog like a child, his little quirks. The laughter was easy, maybe too eager, but it felt harmless, a way of lightening the evening. Now and then I looked at Nathan. He sat quietly, drink in hand, a faint smile on his lips, but it never reached his eyes. He didn't join the teasing, didn't add his own stories. I assumed he was simply drained from work, carrying the weight of exhaustion. I didn't see the truth unfolding before me. At some point, I noticed he had slipped away. I figured he'd gone to the kitchen or needed a quick break. The night continued, the house alive with chatter and warmth. But when the guests began leaving, goodbyes echoed through the rooms. I realized Nathan hadn't returned. I checked our bedroom. My stomach dropped. His wallet, keys, and phone were gone. Panic rushed in, but I forced it down, telling myself he just needed time to clear his head. He'd come back. He always did. But that night he didn't. I sat on the edge of our bed, waiting, hoping, whispering prayers that morning would put things back together. Instead, dawn brought a message. Not angry, not cruel, just clear and devastating. His words were careful, deliberate. He said he was exhausted, not just from work, but from being laughed at in his own home, from wearing a mask while the joke stung, from feeling invisible in the life we were supposed to share. He told me he couldn't go on, not when the person he loved most wasn't standing beside him. He needed to feel safe, valued, seen, and he hadn't, not for a long time. I read his message again and again until the words blurred, my fingers dialing his number only to hear voicemail. 2 days later, I came home to a moving truck outside. Inside, the house was hollow. His clothes were gone from the closet. His toothbrush gone from the bathroom. Even his favorite mug, the chipped one with the faded cartoon bear, had vanished. The silence left behind was louder than any argument could ever be. Friends called, worried and confused. One said Nathan seemed withdrawn that night, folding into himself. Another remembered his quiet words before leaving. This place doesn't feel like home anymore. Those words carved themselves into my heart. I came to see it wasn't just that night. The teasing wasn't the cause. It was only the final straw on top of the pain I'd ignored. I wrote him a letter. Not a text, not an email, but pages filled with my regret, my apologies, my desperate plea for another chance. My hands trembled as I poured everything onto paper. He never replied. Weeks stretched into months. Then an envelope arrived, cold, formal. Divorce papers. No note, just the end. I signed them alone, sitting on the same couch where we'd once curled up through winter storms and late-night movies. The house still carried faint traces of him, but they faded, replaced by a suffocating stillness. Now, in rooms filled with laughter, I catch myself searching for the ones who aren't smiling. I think of Nathan, how he loved me quietly, faithfully, without ever needing the spotlight, how I failed to honor that devotion, how I laughed when I should have defended him, how I spoke over him when I should have spoken for him. Some wounds don't scream, they whisper, and I miss his whispers until it was too late.